Hey, good morning everybody. I'm going to show you some footage from a great morning flight. The first bit of footage here is kind of jerky and shaky. Not sure what happened. Maybe I didn't turn my camera on early enough. It's a Garmin Verb 360 camera. It does a great job normally of stabilizing the image, but that first little segment it didn't stabilize very well. Happens occasionally. There's Chris, he's the guy that launched with me. We started off in the same launch site, and here I kind of made a beeline. I knew there was likely going to be some low-level fog out there. There was a hog. Looked like he was making a beeline to the trees. I'm sure he's faced a lot of hunters in the area, and the two-stroke motor engine spooked him, I guess. But here I'm going to cruise down, skim over the top of the fog, get dipped down in it. Buddy Chris, he spots it. He decides it's time to get over here, so I'm going to chase him around a little while. A lot of fun to do that. Plan for the morning was to kind of head south towards the river, Frito-Lay plants down there, and we got another flying buddy, James, that was going to take off from his house, meet us about halfway, and we'd spend a good part of the morning flying together, and then eventually part and head back to our LZ. But this is Chris and I making our way towards the river. Made a few pit stops, or a few detours, let's say. You know, you see the fog over there in a field like that, and you can't help yourself. Here I can't help myself. I see a field of a little bit of fog, some hay bales. Looks like they left them in the field, and might not be too easy to slalom them since the grass has grown up around them pretty deep. The farmer will have a tough time cutting them, but there's found a gap between the trees you can shoot. Always gets my attention. Make sure that I don't have a wing get into a tree limb sticking out there. But just a spectacular morning, and just love these fog, beautiful calm mornings, and I just love the scenery like this. Only thing bad about this particular morning is I never got my buddy Chris to fly down into some of the thicker sections of fog where I could get behind him and get some footage of that. I've got that in some previous videos, so that's, I guess I didn't really need it. That's one of the challenges, is making a video that's slightly interesting and showing something different each time. And so, a lot of these scenes are, the thing we're blessed with. This is an area that we fly all the time. This is kind of a routine flight for us. It's just a particular morning where I was able to swoop in here, spot Chris. He's going to do a drainage channel run, but this was a morning where I thought the footage was a little bit extra nice with the fog, and did a little extra chasing of the guys, getting in a little bit closer. So with the action camera or my Garmin Verb 360, that took a little bit nicer video, so I thought I'd share this one. There's so many flights I haven't shared with you, just because it's same old, but pretty special. You see James joined up with us. We were just a little bit north of the river, and we're going to cruise around this another field where the hay bales are still setting out. Looks like James is going to get down and kind of slalom through some of the hay bales on this particular one. I think he did his first foot drag in one of my more recent videos that I made a month or two ago. We cleared that field, headed across the river. This is my kind of water foot drag. One of these little ponds, small little thing that's, an inch deep at the most. And so I'll do my little scoot across the water, and worst thing that can happen is I have a muddy walk if something goes wrong. But skim across that, and we'll head off and see what else we can find. At this point I was kind of looking around. I'd done my water foot drag, and I was kind of looking around seeing where the other guys were, James or Chris, and eventually I spot James. Looks like he was doing a few more tree slaloms in the mist and the fog. Of course, if you want to find Chris, all you got to do is look for the water. There he is. Again, that's not a spot I'm going to do a water drag, but Chris just seems to relish it. One thing I'll say for him, he has gotten redundant flotation. He's got the what is it, power floats, I think, and he's also got some personal flotation, kind of a lap belt. So he's being as safe as he can, but he just loves to get and play in that water. Here's James and I thought we were looking at doing a wing bump, but as you can see, we got really close, and then we didn't quite get there. And I think, I don't know if we weren't on the phone, or we didn't have the scenas hooked up, so we got real close and just never tried it back again. It was time for him to head back to his house. He needed to get home a little bit early, so I followed him over there and watched him land. On the way, we just had cut across some of the big open fields. James is doing a little bit more slalom run through some more hay bales, and of course we'll get to another hay field, and I did a little run. I thought this was kind of a cool shot, putting my shadow across one of the big round bales there. Kind of a neat Halloween picture, if you will. Here's James on the road again, headed back home, doing a little foot drag down the road. I thought it was kind of a cool shot. But all good flight mornings have to come to an end. So here's James. We're going to drop him off back at his place. Like I say, I've said in another video, he's just got a great place to fly from. I think he's got a lot of mowing to do, is maybe the challenge. But always enjoy visiting with him. Yeah, I think that spot's about 12, 15 miles, somewhere in that vicinity, away from my launch site. So time to fast forward, head back across the river and get back to some familiar territory. Make sure they left the gate open for me. Why fly over a gate when you can fly through it, right? And do a little bit more playing on the way to get back to my launch site, and call it a morning. Get ready for the next one. Hey everybody, thanks if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Hit the like and subscribe button, all that stuff. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. But really just say hello, drop me a comment. I really appreciate that. So have a good one everybody, fly safe.